There's a moment in every season when a garden stops being just a space and becomes a story. Today, you're about to witness that transformation. From soft winter mornings to glowing night lanterns, from humble planters to full atmospheric corners, this is the kind of aesthetic shift that makes you look twice and wonder how something so simple can feel so magical. Welcome to Mind Over Decoration, a channel built for dreamers, creators, and everyone who believes their home deserves a little wonder. In this video, we explore winter lighting, floral centerpiece planters, aromatic candle corners, and full night-to-day transitions to inspire your own outdoor sanctuary. This video includes timestamps, so feel free to jump to the parts you need. And if something sparks your curiosity, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story, and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. In the quiet breath of early winter, a miniature cottage rests at the heart of the garden, small enough to cradle in two hands, yet crafted with the kind of devotion that makes it feel alive. Its tiny wooden walls carry the memory of warmth, the grain of the timber preserved beneath a tender kiss of frost. Light slips softly across the roof tiles, collecting in delicate icy seams, as though winter itself chose to decorate the home rather than cover it. Around the little cottage, the garden awakens with surprising color. Petunia alpicola and Petunia axillaris unfurl with gentle resilience, their petals moving with the faintest whisper of chilled air. Roses lean in gracefully, seemingly curious about their new neighbor, while tulips stand like quiet sentinels guarding the space. Even the sunflowers, late bloomers clinging to the season's last warmth, seem to bow respectfully toward the cottage's charm. From a distance, the setting appears serene, but up close there is a symphony of detail. The miniature door shows subtle textures, each line carved with intention. A small bench sits beside it, lightly dusted with morning frost. Between the planks, Petunia integrifolia threads itself like an embroidered border created by nature. Cosmos sway with fairy-like softness behind them, forming gentle strokes of color that dissolve into bokeh when the eye refocuses. As the day progresses, light shifts through the garden, revealing new layers. The red of Calliandra glows like embers against the cool tones of winter air. Amaryllis reach upward with quiet confidence. Anthurium andrinum offers a glossy contrast, its shape catching the sun's final glints. And in the background, Cornus florida branches hold the faint promise of the next season. When dusk arrives, the miniature cottage glimmers. A tiny warm glow escapes its windows, just enough to suggest a story inside, though none is shown. The garden around it melts into soft light, lanterns shimmering, petals glowing like fragments of sunrise lingering a moment longer. Here, in this small world, winter feels gentle. A place where blooms remain brave, colors stay honest, and even a miniature cottage can make the entire garden feel like a dream one could walk into. In the quiet stillness of a winter garden, the feature stands like a dream carved gently into the earth, a small arch woven with delicate frost and a lantern tower glowing softly beside it. Though miniature in scale, it carries the tenderness of something imagined long before it was shaped by hands. Its wooden curve, etched with fine grain lines, catches the pale sunlight in a way that reveals the patience of its making. Frost gathers along its edges like silver whispers, turning the arch into a quiet sentinel of the season. Around it, the garden breathes in color despite the cool air. Petunia alpicola and Petunia axillaris gather at its base, their petals trembling slightly when a passing breeze touches them. Roses lean toward the structure with gentle curiosity, while tulips stand with poised elegance not far behind. Sunflowers, tall, warm, and almost nostalgic, seem to watch over the scene like guardians unwilling to leave the year behind. The lantern tower, though small, radiates a warmth that feels almost human. Its tiny windows, etched by subtle craftsmanship, glow as if telling stories from within. Beneath the roof, faint patterns shimmer where frost has rested. When the light shifts, the metal top glints softly, creating a quiet dance of reflections among the surrounding blooms. Petunia integrifolia trails near the arch, weaving itself naturally between stones, while cosmos sway in gentle rhythm behind them. Amaryllis, bold and tender, rise beside Cornus florida branches. The reds of Calliandra cast a warm echo across the cool palette of winter flowers. Anthurium andrinum gleams with a glossy finish, its presence grounding the softer tones around it. As the day drifts toward evening, a shift takes place. The lantern tower brightens against the deepening sky, and the arch becomes a silhouette etched in amber light. The garden's colors soften into glowing patches, petunia pinks, tulip whites, sunflower gold blending into a tapestry of bouquet. It is here, in this quiet transformation, that the feature feels most alive. The miniature arch and lantern tower become more than decoration, they are keepers of warmth in a season of hush. A gentle reminder that even in winter, the garden dreams in color. The garden path awakens long before the sun fully rises, its stones resting beneath a thin veil of frost that glitters like scattered glass. The lanterns lining the walkway glow softly, each one carrying a small warmth into the quiet breath of winter. Their light does not rush, it seeps gently outward, embracing the cold air as if coaxing the garden to wake slowly and without hurry. Petunia alpicola blooms nearest to the first lantern, its petals trembling lightly in the morning breeze. Alongside it, Petunia axillaris opens like a pale whisper of color against the muted tones of winter. Roses, touched by the season, stand with dignified stillness, while tulips offer small bursts of clarity, sharp points of color rising through the cool air. As the path curves, the lanterns become tiny guardians of the garden's heart. Their metal frames hold delicate frost crystals, each one catching the glow in a fleeting shimmer. Petunia integrifolia leans softly toward the warmth, its edges illuminated with golden quietness. Behind it, cosmos move in gentle rhythm, their thin stems swaying as though responding to a music the world has not yet heard. Deeper along the walkway, the air grows richer with contrasts. Anthurium andrinum reflects the lantern light with glossy certainty, while Cornus florida branches stand like painted strokes against the sky. The reds of Calliandra seem almost to smolder in the coolness, echoing the soft flicker of each flame. By the time dusk arrives, the path transforms. The stones darken, holding the memory of the day's light in muted shades. The lanterns brighten in return, their glow turning the winter garden into a world of soft amber and whispered blues. Petunia villidiana and Petunia skydiana bloom bravely beneath the deepening sky, each petal becoming a note of color suspended in the quiet. The bouquet of distant flowers melts into warm circles of softness, creating a dreamy veil around the path. Walking this way feels like moving between seasons, winter in the air, but spring at the edges of sight. Here, in the glow of these humble lanterns, the garden becomes a gentle reminder: winter does not dim beauty, it simply shifts its light. In the front yard of the winter cottage, the shabby chic planter stands like a quiet testament to time, worn, gentle, and impossibly charming. Its faded white paint, chipped in just the right places, carries the soft patina of years lived beneath changing seasons. Frost settles along its rim in delicate silver strokes, catching the morning light with a glimmer that feels both fleeting and eternal. Inside the planter, color awakens. Petunia alpicola unfurls near the edge, its petals trembling as though stretching into the cool winter air. Beside it, Petunia axillaris opens like a soft breath, pale, fragrant, and surprisingly bold against the muted season. Tulips rise with quiet poise, while roses add a tender richness that seems to warm the cold even without sunlight. Cosmos sway with their familiar lightness, contributing a scatter of star-like shapes that glow softly in the crisp daylight. The planter holds more than flowers, it holds a conversation of textures. The aged ceramic surface, etched with tiny fractures, feels alive with history. Frost glides along its contours, highlighting each curve as if nature were outlining it with delicate intention. Petunia integrifolia spills over the side, its soft pinks catching the lantern glow from the porch when evening draws near. Amaryllis stands proudly just behind the planter, adding height and contrast, while Cornus florida branches frame the background with graceful structure. Throughout the day, winter's shifting light plays upon the garden. Sunflowers offer lingering warmth, Anthurium andrinum reflects brightness like polished petals. Calliandra mara flickers like embers, its color deepening against the cool winter palette. The surrounding foliage forms a gentle cradle for the planter, creating a harmony of bloom and texture that feels lovingly curated by nature. And when dusk finally settles, the planter transforms. The warm lantern light spills across its surface, turning frost into tiny golden constellations. Petunia villidiana and Petunia lentifolia catch the glow with shy brilliance, their colors deepening in the evening air. The background dissolves into soft bokeh, warm circles, blurred petals, gentle shadows, until the entire yard feels like a whispered memory. In this moment, the shabby chic planter becomes the heart of the front yard, a vessel of color, warmth, and quiet resilience in the stillness of winter. In a quiet corner of the garden, winter settles with a kind of peaceful grace. A single wooden snowflake ornament hangs from an old branch hook, its carved patterns catching the soft daylight like delicate etchings of memory. Frost gathers along its edges, turning each line into a silver whisper. The ornament sways gently when the breeze moves through the yard, as if nodding to the season that shapes its quiet beauty. Around it, the garden blooms in defiance of the cold. Petunia alpicula spreads its color near the ground, while Petunia axillaris lifts pale petals toward the morning light. Roses, touched by winter yet still full of presence, stand nearby with a subtle glow. Tulips bring a brightness that feels almost like a promise, and cosmos scatter themselves lightly like stars fallen upon the earth. As the day unfolds, light shifts through the winter corner. Amaryllis rises tall, its bold petals glowing softly against the cool air. Cornus florida branches arch over the ornaments, creating a cradle of natural lines and shadows. Petunia integrifolia spills forward gently, its colors blending with the warm hues of the nearby baubles. Each ornament, glass, wood, or metal, holds the season differently, reflecting winter's calm, winter's breath, and winter's quiet warmth. The ground beneath carries hints of frost, catching glimmers of silver and pale blue. Kylliandra mara adds a sudden spark of red, glowing like a small ember among the cooler tones. Anthurium andrinum shines with polished softness, offering a contrast to the rustic ornament textures. The floral edges soften into bouquet when viewed from afar, creating an impression of a garden painted by light rather than planted by hand. When dusk arrives, the transformation begins. Lantern lights flicker to life, casting golden reflections across the snowflake ornament. The wooden grain warms under the soft illumination, creating the illusion of gentle fire glowing beneath its surface. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana bloom like living embers, their colors deepening as the sky fades into twilight. The garden behind melts into glowing circles of light, soft and dreamlike. In this small corner, winter becomes more than a season, it becomes a feeling. A moment of warmth wrapped in cold air, a whisper of joy held in the curve of a wooden snowflake. In the stillness of a winter afternoon, the aromatic candle station becomes the quiet heart of the garden. Resting upon an old wooden tray softened by years of use, the frosted glass candle glows with a warmth that feels almost alive. Its flame flickers gently, releasing soft tendrils of winter fragrance, notes of herbs, dried petals, and something sweet that lingers just long enough to stir a memory. Around the candle, the garden blooms with surprising color. Petunia albicula settles near the base of the tray, its petals vibrant against the muted cold. Petunia axillaris opens itself to the faint sunlight, pale and delicate yet full of presence. Tulips rise behind them with measured grace, while roses soften the scene with warm, velvety hues. Even the cosmos, light and whimsical, dance with the gentlest movement of air, creating ripples of color against the cool landscape. The candle's glow deepens as the day unfolds. Frost clings to its glass surface like tiny stars, each fragment catching the flame's reflection in silent brilliance. Petunia integrifolia leans forward, its edges illuminated by the warm light. Amaryllis and Cornus florida frame the background, their forms softened into dreamy shapes as the eye focuses on the flame. A cluster of herbs rests beside the candle, rosemary sprigs, dried blossoms, and wintergreen leaves, arranged as though nature itself curated them. Anthurium andrinum reflects the glow with gentle sheen, while Calliandra mara adds sudden notes of crimson around the station. The textures blend into one another, forming a harmony of color and warmth both subtle and striking. As evening settles, the transformation becomes tender. The candle brightens against the darkening garden, turning frost into gold. Petunia villadiana and Petunia skydiana shimmer softly, their petals deepened by twilight. The surrounding garden begins to dissolve into bokeh, amber lights, blurred flowers, soft shadows. In this small haven of fragrance and flame, the winter garden feels intimate. A place where warmth is not loud but patient, where scent drifts lightly through cold air, and where one candle can soften the entire season. In the quiet rhythm of a winter garden, the upcycled wooden bench sits as though it has always belonged to the landscape. Its weathered grain, softened by age and shaped by time, carries the gentle character of something once forgotten but lovingly restored. Frost settles lightly along its edges, tracing each curve and crevice with a silver whisper. The bench feels warm despite the cold, warm in spirit, warm in presence, warm in the way reclaimed things often are. Attached to its side, the planter box breathes with life. Petunia alpicola blooms nearest the edge, its petals glowing softly in the pale morning light. Petunia axillaris opens like a winter sigh, delicate and luminous. Roses rise just beyond the bench, casting a muted blush across the chilled air. Tulips stand like quiet guardians, their colors bold yet gentle. Cosmos add a soft flutter, swaying in a rhythm known only to the breeze. The mix of textures is what gives the scene its quiet magic. The grain of the upcycled wood, shaped by time, softened by winter, contrasts beautifully with the vibrant petals spilling from the planter. Petunia integrifolia leans outward, illuminated by faint sunlight as if reaching toward warmth. Behind them, amaryllis catches the glow like a jewel. Cornus florida branches create lines that cradle the bench in natural elegance, while the subtle red of Calliandra warms the cool palate. Throughout the day, the garden shifts around the bench. Anthurium andrinum reflects brightness from the sun's low angle, and cosmos shimmer like scattered brushstrokes. Frost gathers, melts, gathers again, each cycle leaving behind a new softness. As dusk settles, the lanterns awaken. Gentle light falls across the wooden surface, turning frost into small golden constellations. The planter blooms take on deeper tones, Petunia villadiana glowing like embers, Petunia skydiana softened into velvety color. The background melts into warm orbs of bokeh, the garden becoming a tapestry of light and shadow. Here, the upcycled bench becomes something more than a seat. It becomes a memory keeper, of seasons past, of stories untold, of colors that refuse to fade even in the cold. A quiet sanctuary where winter feels tender, and the garden feels endlessly alive. In the smallest corner of the backyard, the cozy nook waits like a quiet invitation. The vintage rattan chair, touched lightly by winter's breath, holds the soft memory of warmth in its woven curves. Frost clings to its edges, tracing pale silver lines that shimmer in the early light. Beside it rests a tiny wooden table, weathered but graceful, carrying the simple charm of something used often and cherished well. Around this nook, the garden blooms despite the season's coolness. Petunia alpicula gathers near the base of the chair, glowing with a gentle brilliance. Petunia axillaris opens toward the soft sky, its pale petals bright against the muted tones of winter. Roses stand close by, offering a breath of color, deep, warm, and quietly confident. Tulips rise like slender markers of hope, and cosmos flutter softly around them, their movement delicate as a whisper. The nook feels like a small sanctuary, shaped not by space but by intention. The blanket draped over the rattan arm appears to soften the entire setting, as though inviting anyone who passes to pause, settle, and breathe in the stillness. Petunia integrifolia spills forward from a planter, catching the morning light along its edges. Amaryllis stands tall behind the chair, regal and bright. Cornus florida branches, pale and elegant, frame the top of the scene. As sunlight shifts through the garden, new colors come alive. Anthurium andrinum reflects the light with a gentle sheen. Calliandra mara glows warmly, adding tiny sparks of red to the cool palette. Petunia patagonica and Petunia inflata blend harmoniously in the planter, their blooms forming a soft chorus of shapes and colors. When evening arrives, lantern light warms the scene. Shadows deepen, softened by golden illumination dancing across the rattan chair. Petunia villidiana and Petunia skydiana glow with richer tones, as if the night awakens something hidden within them. The background dissolves into layers of warm bouquet, transforming the small backyard into a quiet dream. Here, in this humble nook, winter feels intimate. Not cold, not distant, but thoughtful, gentle, and softly alive. In the quiet glow of a winter afternoon, the hot cocoa gift station becomes a small celebration of warmth. Resting on a rustic wooden tray, the vintage ceramic mug holds the promise of sweetness, its surface softened by time and touched lightly by frost. Cocoa jars sit beside it, small, inviting, filled with rich powder that smells like comfort waiting to unfold. A woven cloth rests beneath everything, its texture adding a gentle human touch to the cold season. Around this setup, the garden breathes softly. Petunia albicula blooms at the edge of the tray, adding a lively stroke of color. Petunia axillaris, pale and fragrant, leans toward the faint winter sunlight. Roses rise just beyond the corner, glowing like scattered embers against the cool air. Tulips stand steady and graceful, while cosmos drift with slow elegance, responding to every quiet breeze that passes through. The small planter beside the cocoa station feels like an anchor to the season. Petunia integrifolia spills effortlessly over the edge, catching warm highlights from the setting sun. Amaryllis stands tall behind it, bold and bright. Cornus florida branches shape the backdrop with soft, thoughtful lines. Together, they create a frame of life that wraps around the cocoa station like gentle arms. As the day progresses, colors deepen. Anthurium andrinum adds its glossy red, Calendra mara flickers in the background, and Petunia patagonica mingles with Petunia inflata in the planter, creating a harmony of blooms. The wooden bench beneath the tray carries frost-like delicate lace, patterns that glisten before melting away. When dusk arrives, lanterns awaken. Their glow pools around the cocoa mug, casting warm reflections across the frosted glass. Steam rises softly, curling into the winter air like a whispered invitation. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villidiana shimmer in the lantern light, their petals deepening to richer hues. The garden behind dissolves into golden bouquet, turning the entire scene into a dreamy winter painting. In this little corner of the world, warmth becomes a gift, and winter feels gentle. A season not of cold, but of quiet sweetness waiting to be shared. At the edge of the winter garden, the floral palette board rests like a painter's quiet devotion made tangible. Crafted from weathered wood, softened by time and touched by the cold season, it serves as both creation and companion to the vibrant border surrounding it. Frost gathers along its edges, forming delicate crystalline lace that glimmers softly in the winter light. Upon the board, colors awaken in gentle harmony. Petunia alpicola settles near the corner, its hue deep and comforting. Beside it, Petunia axillaris opens with pale grace, illuminating the wooden grain beneath it. Roses rise nearby, offering warmth with their velvety richness, while tulips contribute strokes of bold, elegant color. Cosmos scatter themselves like strokes of airy paint, softening the palette with movement almost too delicate to measure. Petunia integrifolia spills across the board with refined charm, its tones shifting subtly with the light. Amaryllis glows behind it, bold yet serene. Cornus florida branches create quiet frames of shadow and line, guiding the eye across the border. Further along, vibrancy arrives in flashes, Anthurium andrinum with its polished sheen, Calliandra mera flickering with crimson life, and Petunia guarapuavensis blending into the spectrum with earthy warmth. Throughout the day, winter light drifts along the border, uncovering new conversations between petals and frost. Petunia patagonica and Petunia inflata appear in gentle gradient tones, forming transitions that feel almost whispered. The flowers rise and soften in sequence, creating a natural language of color, one that speaks of resilience, tenderness, and quiet brilliance. When dusk unfolds, the border transforms. The palette board glows beneath the lantern lights, its frost catching the warm illumination like tiny golden stars. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villidiana bloom with deepened hues, as if twilight itself brushes them with pigment. The background melts into soft circles of amber bouquet, turning the entire garden border into a dream suspended in winter air. In this corner of the yard, color becomes a season of its own, and the floral palette board stands as a gentle reminder that even in the quiet cold of winter, there are shades that breathe, and warmth that waits to be seen. In the quiet heart of the winter garden, the pollinator planter rises like a small sanctuary of life. Crafted from weathered wood, its edges dusted with frost, the planter feels both humble and extraordinary, an offering of color and fragrance to a season known for quiet stillness. Yet here, Blooms gather as though winter itself had chosen to soften. Petunia alpicola unfurls at the edge, vibrant against the cool air. Petunia axillaris opens with pale elegance, releasing faint notes of fragrance that drift like a whispered welcome. The anti-mosquito foliage surrounding them carries its own character, cool greens touched with frost, textured leaves catching bits of morning light. Together, they form a gentle balance between beauty and purpose. Nearby, roses glow with soft intensity, their velvety petals warmed by hints of sunlight. Tulips lift their slender forms, delicate yet confident. Cosmos add airy motion, swaying lightly even when the breeze barely stirs. Petunia integrifolia spills along the planter's edge, catching fragments of golden shimmer as the sun climbs higher. Behind them, amaryllis and cornus florida arc gracefully, shaping the scene with natural elegance. As the day unfolds, subtle movements bring the planter to life. Bees drift through the cold air, drawn by the unexpected abundance. Their quiet hum becomes a peaceful thread woven through the winter silence. Petunia excerta, Petunia guarapuavensis, and Petunia interior brighten the mixture of color, while Calliandra mara flickers with warm intensity in the distance. The textures are what make this planter feel alive, frost tracing delicate lines across leaves, petals glowing with layered hues, wooden edges softened by time. Petunia patagonica and Petunia inflata blend beautifully within the palette, while Petunia wrightsii and Petunia littoralis add depth to the foreground. When dusk arrives, lantern lights bloom across the garden. Warm illumination wraps around the planter, turning frost into glistening gold. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana deepen into richer tones, and bees settle softly within the petals, resting as night rises. The garden behind melts into warm bouquet, creating a dreamy glow that feels almost otherworldly. In this gentle corner, winter becomes a season of quiet nurturing. A place where color breathes softly, and life continues its delicate dance, even in the coldest air. In the softened quiet of winter, the protective dome stands like a gentle guardian in the garden. Its frosted clear panels catch the morning light, scattering it into small fragments of brightness that dance across the petals beneath. The metal framing, aged and shaped by time, carries a quiet elegance, an echo of old craftsmanship meeting the hush of the season. Beneath the dome, Petunia alpicola stirs with surprising resilience. Its petals glow faintly in the filtered light, warm just enough to hold onto their vibrant life. Petunia axillaris rests beside it, pale and serene, releasing hints of fragrance that drift upward in delicate threads. Around the dome, the winter garden maintains its brave color, roses with velvet depth, tulips rising like slender flames, and cosmos brushing the air with feather-light movement. Frost creates lacework along the dome's edges, patterns that shimmer before they melt. Petunia integrifolia, growing near the dome's base, catches bits of reflected light. Amaryllis stands tall in the background, regal and unwavering. Cornus florida branches arc around the dome like natural hands offering protection. Their silhouettes form a subtle frame that softens the entire scene. As the day brightens, the dome becomes a quiet world of its own. Inside, Petunia patagonica and Petunia inflata breathe in the sheltered warmth, while tiny tulip buds rest beneath the protective glow. Outdoors, the cold settles across the garden, yet the dome holds onto a pocket of gentleness, a reminder that care can create warmth where winter insists on cold. Petunia wrightsii and Petunia littoralis color the surrounding edges with soft vibrance, while deeper in the border, Anthurium andrinum reflects light like polished ivory. Calliandra mara glows like embers in the cool air, lending depth to the winter palette. When evening comes, lanterns cast slow-moving rays across the yard. Their warm light touches the frosted dome, turning it into a softly glowing orb. Inside, petals of Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana deepen their hues, holding onto the warmth like whispered secrets. The background melts into golden bouquet, blurring the garden into a dreamlike tapestry. Here, winter feels gentle. Not harsh, not distant, but careful, luminous, and full of quiet protection. In the tender hush of a winter afternoon, the wooden crate rests in a quiet corner of the backyard, holding a small harvest that feels like a celebration of both warmth and resilience. Its aged boards, softened by years of sunlight and memory, cradle apples with frosted skins, winter berries glowing like tiny embers, and pears resting in mellow tones. The fruits sit beside living blooms, creating a moment where the edible and the beautiful meet in gentle harmony. Petunia alpicola unfurls from one corner of the crate, its color glowing softly against the cool air. Petunia axillaris opens with pale luminosity, its fragrance faint but comforting. Nearby, roses add a deep warmth, petals velvety and full, as though holding onto the memory of warmer days. Tulips rise in bright strokes, offering elegance even in the chilled light. Cosmos dance lightly around the scene, moving with a grace that feels almost like breathing. The textures within the crate carry a story of their own. Frost dusts the apples in delicate patterns, tiny crystals catching fragments of light as the sun emerges. The pears reflect the winter brightness with muted gold and soft greens. Petunia integrifolia and Petunia guarapuavensis thread between the fruit, their petals brushing against the wooden surface as though to soften its worn edges. Amaryllis stands proudly in the background, casting a glow across the corner. Cornus florida branches frame the setting with their gentle silhouettes. As daylight shifts, the composition deepens. Anthurium andrinum gleams with a polished sheen, while Calliandra mara adds sudden warmth, blazing like embers near the crate. Petunia patagonica and Petunia inflata blend seamlessly into the palette, their blooms merging with the colors of the fruit. Petunia wrightsii and Petunia littoralis create vibrant moments at the crate's edge, drawing the eye gently across the scene. When dusk arrives, the lanterns awaken. Warm light spills across the fruit skins, giving the apples a subtle glow, softening the frost into golden highlights. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana deepen their tones, the cosmos shimmering like tiny stars blooming on the ground. The garden fades into golden bouquet, transforming the entire corner into a dreamscape. Here, the rustic crate becomes a quiet celebration of winter's generosity. A blend of nourishment, color, and the gentle beauty that thrives even in the coldest months. In the gentle hush of the winter garden, the family craft table becomes a small world of imagination. Resting on a frosted stone patio, its wooden surface carries the delicate shimmer of morning light. Tiny craft tools are scattered across it, wooden stars waiting for color, soft yarn curled like sleeping creatures, tiny bells that gleam with quiet charm. The cold air feels softer here, warmed by the presence of creativity instead of fire. Beside the brushes and twine, a small planter blossoms with Petunia alpicola and Petunia axillaris, their petals glowing softly against the pale winter sky. Petunia integrifolia leans closer to the table's edge, as if curious about the tiny ornaments that lie nearby. Behind them, roses rise with gentle warmth, tulips add bright strokes of color, and cosmos dance lightly, softening the entire space with their airy movement. Amaryllis stands proudly in the background, its height adding a quiet grandeur to the scene. Cornus florida branches frame the craft table with natural elegance, their silhouettes becoming gentle guides for the eye. Petunia excerta and Petunia guarapuavensis brighten the surrounding ground, while Petunia interior settles into the palette with soft hues. Calliandra mara flickers like embers against the winter light, and Anthurium andrinum catches glints of brightness with polished petals. As the day progresses, the table becomes a quiet stage for tender stories. The frost melts slightly along the wood grain, forming tiny pathways that glisten like silver threads. Small hands might once have rested here, painting, tying, creating tiny worlds with simple materials. Even in stillness, the table feels alive with echoes of laughter and gentle conversation. When evening draws near, lantern light spills over the craft table. The tiny bells gleam warmly, and the paint jars glow with softened colors. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana deepen their hues beneath the golden illumination, while cosmos shimmer like small constellations blooming on the ground. The background dissolves into rich, warm bouquet, turning the entire scene into something dreamlike. Here, creativity becomes a form of warmth, a reminder that even in the quiet cold of winter, the heart can bloom as tenderly as any flower in the garden. Morning first touches the lantern pedestal with a silver quietness. Frost clings to its wooden frame, catching the pale light like 1,000 tiny crystals waiting to melt into memory. The lantern atop it rests still, holding the soft glow of last night's warmth within its clear glass. Around the pedestal, Petunia alpicola stirs gently, its petals bright even in the cool air. Petunia axillaris releases a faint sweetness that drifts upward as the world begins to wake. By midday, the garden changes. Light spreads across the pedestal, warming the wooden grain and revealing the soft shine beneath the frost. Petunia excerta, Petunia guarapuavensis, and Petunia interior brighten the corner with layered color. Roses lift their velvety faces to the sun, tulips stretch in elegant lines, and cosmos flutter like soft brushstrokes barely touching the canvas of air. Amaryllis gleams nearby, while Cornus florida draws quiet shapes in the background. As afternoon drifts toward evening, golden hour arrives with a hush. The lantern catches the warm light, reflecting it in gentle amber tones. Petunia saxicola cascades around the pedestal, its petals glowing as if painted by the sun's final breath. Anthurium andrinum adds a polished glimmer, and Calliandra mara flickers like tiny embers against the cool garden palette. Then night falls. Slowly, softly. The lantern awakens with a warm inner glow, turning the pedestal into a beacon of quiet light. Frost returns, shimmering now under the lantern's warmth, each crystal a little star caught between seasons. Petunia skydiana and Petunia villadiana deepen into velvet tones, cosmos shining like soft constellations scattered at the pedestal's base. The rest of the garden fades into golden bouquet, dissolving into a dreamscape of muted colors and warm halos. In this cycle, the pedestal becomes more than an object, it becomes a witness to the day's gentle transformation. From frost-kissed dawn to radiance, to twilight glow and lanternlit night, it gathers each moment like treasured fragments of time. Here in the winter garden, light changes, shadows soften, and the world breathes in quiet rhythms. A peaceful reminder that even in winter, beauty never stands still.